Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2018 science fiction horror film Bird Box, a film that stars Sandra Bullock and John Malkovich, as well as a few other faces that you will recognise. Now then, where did this film come from? Absolutely nowhere. I'd heard nothing about it until literally just a few days ago. And this buzz was happening for this film, Bird Box. And initially I was a bit sceptical. It sounded like this was a bit of a rip-off of A Quiet Place. And where there are some similarities between the two movies, this film definitely stands on its own 2 feet. What is this film about, Bird Box? Well, this film is an end-of-world type film, post-apocalyptic, whatever you want to call it. There's like a world-ending event, and there's this unnatural force that, if you see it with the naked eye, it forces you to commit suicide, basically, to kill yourself. And at the beginning of the movie, you see all this. This film is almost in 2 parts. It's like it flashes forward and flashes back continuously throughout the movie. So we get told through flashbacks what happens, and the flash forwards is basically Sandra Bullock with 2 children, 2 very young children, about 5 years old, blindfolded, going on a trip down a river. And initially you're very confused as to what's going on, but it becomes clear as you watch this film. The only way you could keep safe from this unnatural force is to cover your eyes so you can't see anything. And therefore you will be safe, because as soon as you glance at this just for a moment, that's it, you're gone. It's almost like you're hypnotised and you will commit suicide. You're dead. And the only people that are exempt from this are people that are already a bit mad, or it mentions in the film that some people from a mental institution have broke out and they don't need blindfolds. So I think if you were already that way inclined, then you're safe from this unnatural presence, unnatural force. And that's it. At the beginning of the film, you see this all unfold, and Sandra Bullock, who's heavily pregnant, is taken into this house that is owned by John Malkovich, and there's a few other people in this house, and they take refuge in there. But as time goes on, they're running out of supplies. They have to think of new and creative ways to go out and get supplies without seeing, and stop this unnatural force from outside somehow getting in there and killing them all. So that's kind of the story. I don't want to say much more about this film because it is actually a very, very good film. And this film, I can understand the comparisons between this and A Quiet Place. I really can. Whereas The Quiet Place focuses on sound, so if they hear you, you're dead. This one is sight. If you see them, you're dead. So it's another twist on one of the senses, and it kind of does feel a bit of a rip-off, but this film is done so well, it genuinely does stand on its own 2 feet, and it's almost like a cross between A Quiet Place and, you remember the ill-fated M. Night Shyamalan film, The Happening? Well, it's like that, The Happening, but good. Imagine The Happening if it was good. Well, this is this film. This film is propped up, and I'm not exaggerating here, by towering performances by everybody, especially Sandra Bullock, who is exceptional in this role. She plays this very, very strong female character that is in denial that she's pregnant initially, and is actually... Some people might not take to this character because she's quite a hard-faced character, but I really liked it, and I thought the performance was out of this world by Sandra Bullock. Such a great, great actress. Everybody's on point here. John Malkovich is very good in this role. You've got, I think it's B.D. Wong from the Jurassic World films, Jurassic Park films, and a few other faces you'll recognise, and everybody does well. It never feels corny. The world building that goes on here is exceptional. The tension that you feel at times while watching this is on par with A Quiet Place. Very, very tense scenes. And like I said, the start of this film was just exceptional. When you see this devastation, it's just done so well and so horrific. You really buy into it, and you really buy into all these characters, and you invest in all these characters, so that when you do lose inevitably some of these characters in this film, you feel the loss, because the well fleshed out and the likeable characters for the most part. So I have to say, I was really taken back and surprised by this film. I did not expect to enjoy this film anything like as much as I did. For it to come out so close to A Quiet Place, and there are going to be, I think, inevitable comparisons, but this film is definitely different enough. It's really well directed. It's got some wonderful cinematography going on, like the river stuff, and the two kids as well, very young children, do remarkably well in regards to their acting parts. There's very little in regards to weaknesses here for this film. It does feel a little bit rushed initially. But I'm really nitpick. I'd have to really nitpick to give you some major faults for this film, because I've got to say I was completely gripped from beginning to end, and a lot of that is down to the writing and the direction, but a lot of that is down to the performances and the idea. I mean, this force out there, it's never explained what it is. You never know what happens and why it happens. You just know it's there, and if you see it, you're dead. So I'm giving this film a 9 out of 10. I had a really good time watching it. A total surprise. Genuine total surprise. I did not expect to enjoy this anything like as much as I did. So I do recommend this film. So yes, that's Bird Box, a real bolt from blue for me. I hope you enjoyed this review, guys. Check this film out if you get the chance, and I'll see you next time on Screen Stars.